Claire always thought her life was perfect. She had a job she loved as a designer, a cozy apartment downtown, and the man she could only dream of, Kevin. They dated for 2 years. Kevin, a talented architect with a soft voice and sure hands, was more than just a boyfriend for Claire. He was a true rock. Friends envied their harmony, and her parents even jokingly asked when they would have grandchildren. Kevin looked at Claire as if she were the only source of light in the room, and it was evident in his every gesture, every word. Claire's younger sister, Hannah, was always different. While Claire was calm and sensible, Hannah was a whirlwind. At 19, she dyed her hair unimaginable colors, listened to loud music, and lived as if every day could be her last. She studied in another city and visited the family only occasionally, but Claire doted on her. For her, Hannah was still the little girl she'd once read bedtime stories to. The summer when everything changed began normally. Hannah came to visit for the holidays. Claire was happy, as always. But already on the first evening, something tugged at her sister's heartstrings. The three of them were sitting in the kitchen, drinking tea, and Claire caught her sister's eye. Hannah didn't look at Kevin as her older sister's boyfriend. She looked at him as a trophy she wanted to get her hands on. "Listen, he's really hot," Hannah said without a hint of embarrassment the next morning as they painted their nails in the living room. "Are you sure he's not boring? Serious men like that sometimes want something hotter." Claire had dismissed it. Hannah had always been like that, brazen, speaking her mind. It was just her way. But then something strange happened. Hannah started disappearing from the house at the same time as Kevin. One moment she'd ask him to drive her to the store. The next she'd suddenly find herself in the same cafe where Kevin stopped for coffee. She'd laugh at his jokes louder than necessary, touch his arm when they talked, and linger her gaze a second longer than was appropriate. Claire tried to convince herself it was paranoia, that Hannah was just a child looking for attention. But one evening, when Kevin was late at work and Hannah was out somewhere, Claire couldn't take it anymore. She went into her sister's room. Hannah was sleeping, and her phone was glowing on her nightstand. Claire didn't want to peek, but her gaze fell on the screen. It was a text message. With Kevin. Her heart skipped a beat. Claire picked up the phone. The messages were innocent until she scrolled up. "You were so sweet fixing my hair today," Hannah wrote. "Hannah, don't," Kevin replied. "What if I want to? You do feel like there's something between us, right?" Claire felt like the floor had dropped out from under her. She reread the message 3 times, hoping it was a dream. Hannah was flirting with Kevin. And he didn't put a stop to it. He simply wrote, "Don't," but kept replying. In the morning, Claire had a scene. "What are you doing?" she yelled at her sister, putting her phone on the table. Hannah didn't deny it. She looked at Claire defiantly, even triumphantly. "What's wrong? I just showed him that you're not the only woman in the world." "You're so boring, Claire. You think that because you've been dating for 2 years, everything is already decided. But he's a young man. He needs variety. You're my sister." Claire's voice cracked. "So what? All's fair in love and war," Hannah snapped. Kevin was furious when he learned of the scandal. He swore to Claire that he'd never given Hannah any reason to be upset, that he simply considered her a flighty girl. He wanted to talk to Hannah himself, to explain that he loved only Claire. But Hannah wasn't about to give in. She changed her tactics. Instead of openly flirting, she began complaining to Kevin about her life, how lonely she was, how she envied their perfect relationship. She sought his company under plausible pretexts. "Kevin, my car broke down. Will you watch?" "Kevin, I need some male study advice." Claire was going crazy. She saw Kevin trying to keep his distance, but Hannah was everywhere. She moved in with them, citing problems in the dorm. Every evening became torture. Hannah would come out to dinner in short shorts, sit across from Kevin, and look at him with hopeful eyes. One night, Claire woke to a sound. Someone was walking in the hallway. She walked out and froze. Hannah was standing by Kevin's door, wearing nothing but a short t-shirt. Kevin opened the door and, seeing her, recoiled. "Hannah, what the hell? I can't live without you," she whispered. "Look at me. I'm younger. I'm prettier. I'll give you what Claire can't." Claire stepped out of the shadows. She wanted to scream, but there was only emptiness inside. "Enough," she said quietly. Hannah turned around. There was no shame in her eyes, only anger. You're just afraid he'll choose me, she snapped and ran to her room. Kevin walked up to Claire and hugged her. She could feel his heart pounding. I love you, he whispered. Only you. But we can't go on like this. She's destroying us. That morning, Claire made a decision. She went to Hannah. You have to leave. This is my parents' house too. Hannah snapped. This is my apartment. I rent it. And if you don't leave, I'll tell Mom and Dad everything. How you tried to seduce your sister's boyfriend. Hannah looked at her with hatred. She packed her things in silence, but before leaving, she said, You'll regret it. He'll still be mine. 2 months passed quietly. Claire and Kevin tried to mend their broken trust. Hannah didn't call or write. Claire told her parents they'd had a fight over trivial matters. But one evening, Kevin came home from work, not himself. He was silent for a long time. And then he put his phone in front of Claire. Read it. It was a letter from Hannah. A long, tearful one, in which she wrote that she was pregnant. That it happened that night. When she stood at his door, only he actually let her in. That she was drunk, and he took advantage of her. Claire went cold. It's a lie, Kevin said quietly. I swear to you, it's a lie. I never touched her. She just wants to break us up. Claire wanted to believe him. But doubt had already crept into her soul like a thin snake. She went into the bathroom and stared at her reflection for a long time. The truth came out a week later. Her parents, having learned of the pregnancy, were horrified and called Kevin, demanding that he marry her. Kevin demanded a DNA test and a medical examination. Hannah screamed and became hysterical, but finally confessed she had made the whole thing up. She hoped that Kevin would be scared of the scandal and go back to her, and that Claire would leave him. It was a blow to the family. It took a long time for her parents to forgive Hannah. Hannah herself moved to another city and cut off all contact. Claire and Kevin were left alone. The pain of her sister's betrayal lingered in her heart for a long time. But Kevin was there. Every day. He proved to her that his choice had been made. That she was the only one for him. 3 years passed. Claire and Kevin had a heart-to-heart. They had a daughter. Hannah sometimes sends cards for the holidays, but they were no longer close. That lie and that attempt to ruin someone else's happiness became a wall between the sisters. Claire often thinks about that summer. About how easy it is to lose everything because of someone else's selfish love. And every night, falling asleep on Kevin's shoulder. She thanks fate that he made the right choice. The choice for true love, not a fleeting infatuation.